Hey there, this is your pal Pally, and welcome back to Git Er Raid. Warlords of Draenor beta testing continues on with some more heroic mode bosses. It's time to step into the arena with Kargath Bladefist. He is the first boss of the Highmaul instance, and is a fairly good opening boss. As always, mechanics can change from the time a fight is beta tested to when it is actually released live. So as I said, this is the opening fight of Highmaul, and that also means it's the opening fight of the Tier 2. Hence, you would expect a fairly introductory or easy boss. With the tuning they had when we tested it, this boss fits the bill. There are some pitfalls and traps and things to pay attention to, but it's definitely not overly difficult. So let's dive into it. First off, you fight him in this arena here, and there are 4 pits that are opened once you pull the boss. There is a very hungry kitty cat in each of them who would love nothing more than a tasty piece of Azeroth flesh to drop down for them. Stay away! Next, the boss will do quite a bit of charging around, doing chunks of damage to people at range. This is called Blade Dance, and it does splash damage. If you can, spreading out is ideal, but it doesn't hurt too badly. The tanks have a taunt swap mechanic in the Impale. You'll get a stack of open wounds for each impale that makes you take more damage from subsequent impales. Easy peasy. And there are fire pillars that pop up and spew fire all around them. I don't think I have to say it, but don't stand in the fire. Beyond that, there are really only 2 other mechanics into the fight. The first is called Berserker Rush. The boss will fixate on a raid member at ranged and hunt them down. Anyone in his path will get slaughtered, so you just have to run away. The boss will hunt the fixated target down until he gets to them and will immediately kill them if they reach him. So what are you supposed to do about this? The dungeon journal says he can be distracted to stop this. So you actually have to kite him into one of the fire pillars. He'll get pissed off that it's in his way and kill it instead of you. It's worth noting as well that if you put the boss into a fire pillar, even outside of him doing his Berserker Rush, he'll kill the fire for you. Just be careful you leave some up so your ranged can kite him and interrupt further rushes. The last mechanic is a somewhat fun one. About every minute and a half, the crowd that is watching you in the arena will get all jazzed up and get involved in the fight from the stands. You have 3 types of ads in the crowd that will do various things. The first is a regular old grunt. They have a hamstring type ability, but they are seriously low on health and are simple cannon fodder. The Iron Bombers will toss bombs into the arena and also drop them when killed. And finally, the Drunken Bile Slingers will throw a mauling brew into the arena that will put down basic poison puddles all over, further hampering your available raid space. They also have a vile breath that will stun people in front of it. Gross. But maybe you're asking, how do we take care of the rowdy crowd? Well, soon after the crowd gets into it, the boss will do an ability called Chain Hurl. He will pick up the nearest 5 people to him and throw them into the crowd. Aw yeah, it's time for some WWE action outside of the arena. Time to get revenge. You can now go as a group and slaughter the crowd. It would be good to focus on the bombers and the bile slingers, as they affect your raid the most. The tricky thing is if you get low on health, you will automatically jump back down into the arena. So it seems you might want to send like a tank, 3 DPS, and maybe a healer. The ads don't hurt too badly, but you kind of want to make sure you can clear all of them before you jump back down. While the Hurled group deals with the crowd, the fight in the arena continues on exactly as it has been so far. Nothing really changes. Kite the rushes into the fire pillars, stay spread for all of his leaping around, and tanks taunt for impales. It's worth noting that at least with the current tuning, taking 2 impales was not too bad at all, so don't get too much in a hurry if the tank is still dealing with the crowd. That's really all for the mechanics in this fight. The strategy is pretty straightforward. Tanks should try to keep the boss pointed towards the range group so that melee don't get hit by impale in the rush, although boss timers will help with that. Ranged and healers should stay near a fire pillar in case they get fixated, thus it should be an easy kite. Beyond that, you probably want to set up who should crash in for the chain hurl and deal with the crowd. Even when we messed up and had 5 DPS go up, it still worked out, but you might want to designate people to be close to get thrown up there. Avoid pits, and you are good to go for this simple fight. That's about all for this guide on Kargath Bladefist Heroic in Highmaul. Tanks swap off for impales, keep the boss pointed towards the range, and maybe help deal with the crowd. Healers, the damage is pretty light overall, except when the crowd is up and going, so save your cooldowns for that while you dodge all the other mechanics. DPS get tossed up to smack down the crowd, and ranged be ready to kite him into the fire pillars. Thanks for watching, and as always, please comment, like, and or subscribe to the video if you found it helpful, and have a good one!